Romans. It's not their plot. Say, if we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him. And the Romans, who are the so-called Italian Caucasians, who are the superpower of the earth, who's over us, as we left from the Greek Empire to the Roman Empire in captivity, slavery, and bondage, but allowing us to have our Senate and so forth, they rolling with them, as it is today. We in captivity, but you got these so-called leaders that are bougie, the bougie that's rolling with Edomites to be able to deal with what they got to deal with. Every chance of having, you got to call in one of them to come out there and calm the slaves down. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him. And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. You see? They knew this. But see what they were rolling with? The so-called white man. That's what they was concerned about. What? Romans gonna come and take away what? Both our place, them being Pharisees and chief priests and so forth, and nation. The people ain't gonna be following them no more. All about that prestige, want to be somebody in hell. That's why Second Shai said what? The light shined in the darkness comprehended not. And one of them, named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not. Hear that? He knew that the Mashiach of Shai must have to die for the 12 tribes of Israel, and that the whole nation perish not, he said. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Mashiach of Shai should die for that nation, and not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of the Most High that were scattered abroad. That's why Paul is going out and dealing with, fulfilling what it is that you hear Caiaphas saying. You see, and going to the Israelites that scattered in the land of Corinth and Philippi and Galatia and so forth, calling themselves by the lands that they're living in, but they dealing with idolatry and not understanding the truth of the Most High. Peter and James, to the 12 tribes of Israel scattered abroad, greetings. Only to the Israelites. Peter is talking about the same ones you read about in Acts 1 and 9 down, in living in those lands as Israelites. That's why it says, and not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of the Most High that were scattered abroad, right? So it says, then from that day forth they took counsel together for to put him to death. That's why it said in Acts 5 and 30, him have ye crucified. See, they took counsel to put him to death. That's what they did, wicked Israelites. So this is what we're looking at in our plight and having to deal with all these ways that we were set up in to follow under these leaders. Hear what they said? We're going to lose our power with the Romans, and they will come and take away our position, them being leaders and the nation. It's all about power. Want to be somebody in hell, because we in hell. They in hell. Mashiach Shai was in hell. Who put him to death? They put him to death. For what? He was innocent. They put him to death. Like a lot of us been put to death for being innocent right here in America. More so than anywhere else. You don't believe it, how they get the land. Let's go back to St. John, the 1st chapter, in verse 11. It says, he came unto his own, and his own received him not. You see what they said, crucify him, let his blood be on us and on our children, what they said. But as many as received him, and a lot of you that go to church, y'all only read St. John 1 and 11. He came into his own received him not. You don't continue to read verse 12. It says, but as many as received him, so that you know that some of us always received him. To them gave he power, that spiritual power, to what? To become the sons of the Most High, who are only the Israelites. Even to them that believe on by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, going to the Most High on our behalf, that we can receive the spiritual power from the Most High. Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You see, so this is what we're looking at. Look at St. John the 4th chapter. Now, when we understand when the 9.5 tribes sinned against the Most High so much in idolatry that the Most High got them out of his face, got them away from his face, and he took them and gave them into the Syrians that put them in captivity. And when he put them in captivity, way back in 700 BC or so, he put the Ethiopians in northern Israel. That's why you have a lot of Ethiopians now today call themselves Philistine Jews and so forth. And the Jewish people, they're going to look back and look at them, the Hamites, and put them in the position of us. Either one of them are not Israelites. Jewish people or Ethiopians. Don't care what they call themselves. They're not Israelites. Or tell them to name the 12 tribes of Israel. Just ask, name the 12 tribes, and all you Israelites should know the 12 tribes of Israel by heart. Just like that, boom, name them. That's your nation. But ask them to name them. If they say they're the Israelites, they're the Jews, they should be able to know that there's 12 tribes. At least naming the 12 tribes. And you add a 13th one, you got another tribe. So everybody should be able to name them 12 tribes of Israel. Now, so the Ethiopians have been there, the Hamites have been there from the time that the northern tribes went into captivity. So here we go in John the 4th chapter and verse 5, because Messiah went to Samaria, northern Israel. That's where Ephraim was. But they were moved out, and they put them Ethiopians in there. Say, then cometh he to a city of Samaria, verse 5, which is called Sychar, near to the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Now Jacob's well was there. Messiah, therefore, being weary with his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. Then cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Messiah said to her, give me to drink. Give me something to drink. She drawing water. Give me some of that water. Well, the disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat. They ain't go to buy no hog or anything else that was abominable. That's unclean, that you be in the dietary law. For his disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat. Then said the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? I'm an Ethiopian. I'm a Hamite. For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. Because only that, Messiah told him, look, hold that. Matthew 5 and 6. Matthew 10, 5 and 6. Then these 12 of Messiah sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not. He told them, go to Samaritans, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And you know right there that she's not the house of Israel. Because he said, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So here she is. He asking her to give him some drink of that water. Verse 9 of St. John, the 4th chapter, then said the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. Just read it to you. He said, don't go to the Samaritans. Go to rather go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Verse 10. And my servant shall answer and said unto her, if thou knewest the gift of the Most High, and who it is that said to thee, give me to drink, thou would have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. You see? That living water. The woman said to him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well and drank thereof himself and his children and his cattle? My servant shall answer and said unto her, whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. That's the physical water. But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing forth up into everlasting life. We just read, the washing the water by the word, The woman said to him, Sir, give me this water, that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. She's still carnal. Give me this water, then I ain't never got to thirst no more, and I ain't never got to come here to, to get this water out of this well, to drink. I ain't going to be thirsty no more. Carnal-minded. My servant said to her, go call thy husband and come hither. Now he's getting serious with it. He said, go call your husband and come hither. Go call your husband and come hither. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. And my servant said unto her, thou hast well said, I have no husband. But thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband, and that says thou truly. So the woman said to him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Our fathers worship in this mountain, still dealing with just like, it's no different than the Jewish people claiming to be us too, right? Keep that in mind, because they say they the Jews. And what she say? Verse 20, our fathers worship in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where man ought to worship. This is what my servant said to her. My servant said unto her, woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. This is what he's saying. Ye worship ye know not what. It's here. That's right. Why he's saying that? Say, ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship. For salvation, that's power, rulership, and authority. Salvation is of the Jews. See? So, right there. Let her know, hey, she's in darkness, gross darkness. You put the people in gross darkness. The thing about it, when you look at what I've been bringing out lately in Revelation 18 and 23, the last verse says, for by thy sorceries, by thy witchcrafts were all nations deceived. You see? Until this day. That's why, look at Revelations 2 and 9. Revelation 2 and 9. He put the people in gross darkness, gross ignorance. They don't care nothing about those that's not, like you got trillionaires don't care that hate billionaires. You got billionaires that hate millionaires. You got millionaires that hate everybody that's under them. Straight up. But look, Revelation 2 and 9, it says, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty. That's we that are the true Israelites. But thou art rich, right? With this word. You rich with the word. Knowing this truth. It said, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Now, our people mainly not saying they were Jews, but now I look at Geno Jennings had the nerve to pull this on us as Hebrew Israelites. Like we saying we are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. When it's not us that's been saying, who been saying that they Jewish? They the Jews. It's not us. Esau's grandson. You know. Amalek. So now when you look at, this is my Shai speaking now. You got to deal with him on this. Revelation 3:9 says, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan. When we worship in synagogues, where are synagogues at? So people have synagogues, and that's the Jewish people. He said, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. But do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. See, because we're not worshiping in synagogues, and he's not talking about us. We are his chosen people, without a shadow of a doubt. So when did this happen to the Jewish people? In Deuteronomy 28:68. All praise the Most High. And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt when you captivity, slavery, and bondage, when you read Exodus 20:2. Again, another time with ships. When does this happen to them? Because it's talking to the Israelites. Deuteronomy 1:1. It's talking to the Israelites. This is how we know we are the Israelites. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side of Jordan in the wilderness. Okay? So it's talking to us, the Israelites. When did this happen to the so-called Jewish people? If thou could say, break this down. Break down from 15 to 68 and say it applies to them. If thou can. Because Deuteronomy 28:68 says, and the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. That's just gross darkness to people. The sorceries, multitude of sorceries that they have people's minds in. And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt, which means slavery, captivity, and bondage. Again, another time with ships. And what people for hundreds of years came in cargo slave ships. Took us off our land here in America, sailed us to Europe, from Europe to Africa to America. What people? If thou can say. Them, the Jewish people? No. By the waiver I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And we haven't as a nation seen our homeland of Israel. And there, when you go on these slave ships, ye shall be sold unto your enemies. For what? For bondmen, slave men, and bondwomen, slave women. And no man shall buy you. Now you listen to what it says, no man shall buy you. We're going to offer ourselves. And the other Bible said, let me show you. That means no man's going to save us or deliver us from the condition that we put ourselves in for not following the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. The same thing that you quote up these preachers saying that we're not under. Deuteronomy 28:68. Let's see what it says. And this is the New World Translation, the Jehovah's Witness Bible. Let's see what it says here. And Jehovah will certainly bring you back to Egypt by ships, by the way about which I have said to you. You will never see it again, and you will have to sell yourselves there to your enemies as slave men and maid servants, but there will be no buyer. That makes sense. They sold us on auction blocks, and we were bought on auction blocks. It's cold. Y'all say the Bible ain't been tampered with? Yes, it have. You heard that, right? You heard it for yourself. But like I said, I brought out different Bibles. It was one that I'm gonna have to get it. It was really, really cold. What it was saying. Nobody would want to buy us. It said nobody would want to buy us. We're going to offer ourselves up to be slaves and nobody would want to buy us. And that's ridiculous. You know. But you see the gross darkness that the people are in. So when you look at Zephaniah 2:12, as far as, that's why he said, you know not what you worship. We know we worship for salvation of the Jews. Now it tells you in Zephaniah 2:12, said, ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword. That's what it's saying. So this is what we're looking at. That's prophecy of the end times concerning them. So that's what my shepherd say, you worship, you know not what? We know it. We worship for salvation of the Jews, of the Israelites. So, like I said, we're going to continue with this because our people got to understand. They got to come out of this Edomnism and Edomish and being controlled by this great multitude of sorceries, witchcrafts that they had the people under to deceive all the nations, it says, you know. But we think that you can continue to deal with the things that they have you to be in being Edomish, you know, somewhat like them, pertaining to them, but not them, but you still pertaining to being like them. Do all the things that they have perpetrated on this earth. And being in order with the Most High. Because the Most High ruled in the kingdom of men and said he set up over it the basis of men. In Daniel 4:17. So they in order. We out of order. When we come back in order, fearing the Most High, keeping his commandments, repenting, and ask the Most High to deliver us, we cry to the Most High with a humble spirit, and not think that we all that, all righteous and all that, because you ain't righteous. Well, how my Shai got to come back and make the little part that we have whole. So I hope that you'll continue to watch more of Shield of Wisdom. And with that, I'm out. Shalom.